So last night, the subject of his schizophrenia came up on CNN, and Caroline Downey, who's with National Review, tried to make a point about it. Here's how that went.
He served time for his violent offenses.
Not for his schizophrenia.
Why
that's not a
crime.
That's not a crime. No, I know, but I'm saying that was compounding this entire issue.
I know,
the fact that he lashed out violently on that.
I know. I'm just saying he did actually serve time for the violent offenses that he committed.
But he was a career criminal, a repeat offender who was let back onto our streets despite a really bad criminal record that suggests he should have been locked away for life because he was threatening the public. He was a menace to society.
He should have been locked away for life for what now?
He should have schizophrenia.
You want him to?
You actually said that. I can't believe you actually said that. Somebody should be locked away in jail forever for schizophrenia. Did you really say that?
You said he should be locked away for life for schizophrenia. That is what you said.
He should be institutionalized. Yes, and if you're saying he should not, you're saying that young women like you and me are basically just, we're lambs into the slaughter. You go on public transportation in this city, that could happen to any single one of us.
I use public transit constantly. That is completely unhinged, frankly. People shouldn't be locked away for mental illness. They should be treated for it.
In an institution. Yes.
Yes, Allie, what he needed talk therapy. That's what DeCarlos Brown Jr. needed.
If people like this who are surrounding Caroline are anywhere close to power, we will continue to have situations like this on a consistent basis. Look, this is not a one-off. Sure, he does seem like a nutcase, but also at the same time, I just want to say evil people say evil things. People who are violent are also liars. Yeah, he's probably crazy, but he could just also be making excuses for the fact that he's a bad person who does bad things, and he doesn't want to take responsibility for that. That is like the pattern of a lot of criminals. But also, I want to say something about our mental health system. What we have realized, especially since COVID, a lot has happened over the past 5 years and revelations about many different things, is that our mental health system in general is actually exacerbating the problem of instability and violence, not reducing the violence that is caused by people who may have these mental health diagnoses, because so many of the pharmaceuticals actually have on their label as potential side effects psychosis, violence against others, violence against yourself, deepening these episodes of depression and anxiety and paranoia. I don't know what pharmaceuticals this guy was on, if he was on any, but for anyone to say, well, he just needs treatment, he just needs more psychology, he just needs more psychiatry, obviously not. Obviously not. He had probably been getting that for some time. Caroline is absolutely right. For this kind of manifestation of this kind of mental illness, yes, locked away for life, because they are all saying exactly what Caroline said they are saying, which is that you, young woman, you white woman, you are worth the sacrifice. We are going to put you on the altar of social justice, of racial equity, and you are going to like it. People like that on that round table, yes, exactly, should never be close to power.
Yeah, no, exactly right. I have absolutely no qualms about this guy going away for life before this crime. It's his life or our lives. Why should we, the perfectly law-abiding sane ones, have to put our lives on the line just to get on the light rail? It's absurd. He's the one. I'm sorry. He's got to go. And we've had too many instances that prove that to us. Nonetheless, it's not just the CNN panel. Got one for you too, Megan. Here's Whoopi Goldberg this morning over on The View.
A young woman is dead. Let's take that into consideration. And yes, a man who should have been behind bars was loose and out.
Well, he should have been.
Well, listen. Yeah. He was a schizophrenic man. His mother begged them to take him and put him away. So stop politicizing this. This is not political. Yeah. This has to do with how we take care of our sick Americans when they are in need.
Not political at all.
Okay, so a point of order first, going back to that CNN panel, is that he was not put away for all of those crimes. For most of those crimes, he did go away for the armed robbery. But for multiple other crimes, he was credited with time served, giving community service and probation. So he was not serving time for the crimes he committed. Second point of order, he didn't just have the encounters with the police that we know about where he was arrested. There were additional points. We know at least 3 times in 2024, so just last year, he had encounters with the police where they didn't arrest him. They referred him to quote unquote resources. So we know that they were supposedly trying to refer him to the kinds of mental health help that all of these people are saying, well, that's what he should have been given. Well, the community policing forces that he encountered did try to do that, and he wasn't forced to accept it, and so he didn't. So he continued to be a menace on our public streets. And that is the point of why that absolutely, yes, this is political, because those were the policies that allowed him to be on that train so that he could stab Irina Zarutska in the neck. So to try to separate this from politics, in fact, to try to separate it from identity politics is impossible, because it was the identity politics that played a role in why he was out there being a menace to society. So, you know, when I look at this, I go, one, they're not being dishonest about this man, or they're not being honest about this man's background, but they're also then not being honest about the role that identity politics and the social justice movement in the wake of George Floyd played in his being out there and being available to commit this crime.
Mm-hmm. Just a follow-up, too, on the problems with the North Carolina judges involved in all of this. I mentioned the one judge, Teresa Stokes, and what she did, and then the other judge, Roy Wiggins, and what he did. But Jesse Waters actually did a good piece on Fox last night on who appointed Teresa Stokes as magistrate judge from the lowest rated law school in the country, who's not even a practicing lawyer, who doesn't appear to have her bar card. It was someone named Alyssa Chin Gary, who's the clerk of the Superior Court. Stokes was nominated by the clerk, and then Stokes was appointed by Judge Carla Archie. Chin Gary, the one who nominated her, her bio on the Mecklenburg Bar Association says she's the family court administrator and a leader in building and strengthening race matters for juvenile justice. Under Chin Gary's leadership, Race Matters for Juvenile Justice partnered with all these other groups to train more than 200 leaders in a series of workshops entitled Dismantling Racism. Those are the qualifications she wanted us to know she had in order to select future magistrate court judges who would be making assessments on bail and whether somebody like Brown would have to stay in the system. Her LinkedIn says that she's a judge of Superior Court and of probate, racial equity organizer, diversity and inclusion consultant. She then wrote, in 2014, I was named the Julius L. Chambers Diversity Champion, conferred by the Mecklenburg County Bar to celebrate persons in our community who advance the cause of diversity and equal opportunity. This is giving me total LA fire chief vibes, right? Black and a lesbian. I'm black and I'm a lesbian. Can you fight fire? Who cares? See points 1 and 2. Who gives a crap about all these like diversity equity initiatives she's involved in? Do you have any qualifications to pick magistrate judges? And in North Carolina, they said, yes, those are the qualifications. She's right on. She's assessed our interests perfectly. The mayor, who you mentioned before, who I call vile, this is a picture of the mayor at the George Floyd funeral. Here she is. On her knees, George Floyd. She's deeply upset about George Floyd and his passing. We'll show you the picture. But that's who she's working for effectively. Distraught. This is Mayor Vi after George Floyd. Okay, going on. Judge Carla Archie, the one who actually made the appointment of the magistrate judge, Teresa Stokes. 2019 Diversity Champion Award winner. She posted this photo in 2020 on her LinkedIn wearing her mask. It reads vaxxed with a good dose of holiday cheer. And on it goes from there. So the whole system, Megan, was set up. It was set up to see a guy like DeCarlos Brown and send him right out the revolving door so that Whoopi Goldberg could then say, well, this isn't political. It's just about how we treat the unwell, knowing full well that we don't lock them up in this country anymore. We haven't for decades. So unless they are incarcerated in an actual prison or we revamp our mental health asylum situation, he's going to be free on the streets to kill more.
Yeah, and again, when I look at that picture of Vi Lyles, I just go to the fact that they all had her, Josh Stein, Roy Cooper, all had something to say much more quickly about George Floyd in another state than they did about someone who was a resident of their own state in North Carolina who they were responsible for. It's just appalling. And I'm going to be honest, at this point, when I hear those resumes, when I hear I'm an expert in anti-racism training, or this was the, diversity, equity, inclusion, bona fides that I have, at that point, that's actually a disqualification for me. If I see that on your resume, I don't want you hired for the job.
When inflation jumps, when you hear the national debt is over $37 trillion, do you ever think maybe now would be a good time to buy some gold? Well, you'd be right. Whether as a hedge against inflation, peace of mind during global instability, or just for sensible diversification, Birch Gold Group believes every American should own physical gold. And so they created something special. Until September 30th, if you're a first-time gold buyer, Birch Gold is offering a rebate of up to $10,000 in free metals on qualifying purchases. To claim eligibility and start the process, request an info kit right now. Just text MK to 989898. Plus, Birch Gold can help you roll an existing IRA or 401k into an IRA in gold, and you're still eligible for a rebate in free metals of up to 10 grand. So make right now your first time to buy gold and take advantage of a rebate up to $10,000 when you buy before September 30th. Text MK to the number 989898 to claim your eligibility and get your free info kit. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.